Hello, and welcome to Your Money Questions Answered, the WFG Retirement Podcast. I'm your host, Elena Peerson, Financial Wellness Strategist at Washington Financial Group. Today, we're here to talk to you about the 3 questions that determine retirement success. Those 3 questions, and you may have heard them before, we're very adamant about, promoting them. We find them very effective. Are number 1, should I even join my retirement plan? Number 2, if so, how much should I be contributing? And finally, where the heck do I invest my money? So let's tackle question number 1. Should I even join my retirement plan? Well, we at Washington Financial Group always like to say that you probably want to set aside some small amounts, make some small sacrifices today towards the goal of replacing your paycheck during what we call at WFG the longest period of unemployment you're ever going to have. Or retirement. Sounds really exciting, right? The reason that we frame it as the longest period of unemployment that you're ever going to have is because it shifts some of that planning liability onto us, right? When I picture retirement, it's this magical thing that happens to me. All of a sudden, I have all this Social Security, but that's not really the realistic picture anymore today, is it? When we talk about unemployment, it's something that you actually have to plan for, right? We don't mean for it to be anxiety inducing, but it does mean that we probably need to be a little bit more proactive. Social Security never intended to fully take care of us. Right now, you all have seen projections. We don't believe it's ever going to fully go away just because it is based on the U.S. government's ability to just raise payroll taxes on us, make us work a little bit longer. But right now, we're projecting that it's going to replace about 20% of our incomes in retirement. So about 1/5 of maybe about what you're making right now. If Social Security takes care of the other 20% of our income, that means we're responsible for 80% of our replacement income in retirement. So we really need to get proactive when it comes to saving. So should you join this plan? I would say absolutely. It's one of the best places to put your money. There's tax advantage status, whether you're contributing pre-tax or the traditional way or the Roth. So we do want everybody to be actively contributing in their plan. Again, one of the best places that you can invest money is going to be your 401k or your 403b. The second question you want to ask yourself is, okay, I'm going to join my plan. How much money should I actually be putting in to know that I'm on track? Excellent question. This does not get enough attention. Generally speaking, we say that you want to be contributing in order to get to 80% replacement income in retirement. 10% of your current salary of each paycheck should go into your retirement account. If you're not there yet, don't worry. It's a high figure. We definitely know that it can be challenging. So we don't want necessarily everybody to jump up to 10% right away and then drop down again and never try again. We say set some small goals. So maybe you're at 6% right now. Next year, switch it up to 7, then 8, then 9%. It's all about slowly increasing your contribution without drastically changing your habits so that you feel more comfortable getting acclimated to contributing regularly to retirement. Now, combine that 10% from your own savings with your employer contributions. Maybe you have a match, maybe you have a profit sharing. That puts you at about anywhere from, it could be 12 to 17 to 20%. That puts you at a really nice level of contribution to get you to that 80% replacement income. So we always say, put aside 10%. Think of anything your employer may or may not give you as a bonus on top of that, and that just helps you even more so. We really say you want to be contributing this portion throughout your entire career. So maybe if you started late, you can do a couple % more you want to aim for. Again, the nice thing about that 10% goal is if you ever want to go beyond it, it's all your money for you to take with you when you retire. So it only behooves you to contribute as much as possible. The maximum that you can contribute to your plan for the year 2020 is $19,500 a year if you're under the age of 50. If you're over the age of 50, you can do a catch-up contribution for a total of $26,000 a year. So that catch-up contribution is $6,500. If you ever want to go and try to hit those maximums, again, it's all your money. It's all tax advantaged. Go for it. it can be a little bit challenging to do. They're very high figures. They're the highest contribution limits in the retirement plan space, which is the other reason we think you should join the plan. But again, it's really great in order to prepare you to make sure that you're on track for saving for your future. Finally, the third thing you want to think about is your investment strategy. Where do I invest my money? Generally speaking, you have two different options. Number one, you can let the target date funds do it for you, or two, you can create your own investment allocation. Generally speaking, the target date funds, we highly recommend. They are one of the best places to put your money. Studies show 90% of the time they outperform people who, just your average person who decides to make their own investment portfolio. And the ones that are in your plan are managed for you based on how old you are. So if you're not sure what you're invested in, that's usually the default investment strategy if you don't elect one. But the way they work is if you take a look at your target date fund, it has a year associated with it, or a vintage, right? It's fancy. It's like wine. My target date fund, if I'm 30 years old, is 2055 because I have 35 years left of work. It's 2020. There you go. 2055 is when I get to retire. I'm very excited about it. I put all my money in this fund, and it's completely diversified for me across all the market sectors. It's very aggressive right now because I'm fairly young. At least I'd like to think so. My mother tells me otherwise. And as I get older, this fund evolves. So it starts off very aggressive. It's managed for me aggressively with the thought that I'm in this accumulation phase. And as I get closer to retirement, I move to the preservation phase, where I have a more conservative investment strategy, and we're focused on protecting everything I've grown. And now we're thinking about, how we're going to transition to retirement. So if you are one of those people who doesn't really want to have your hands on in the account, either you don't have time for it or you don't feel comfortable, your target date is a pretty great way to make sure that you have an age-appropriate risk strategy, an investment strategy. So we definitely recommend those. If you want to do it yourself, you absolutely can. The one thing we ask is please don't let your coworker or your 90-year-old Uncle Earl invest your money for you. If you do want a little bit of assistance, we are always a resource for you as fiduciaries at Washington Financial Group. We can always look over anything you'd like, and we can help make assistance and adjustments to your plan. If you do create your own investment strategy, there is an automatic rebalancing feature on your 401k website that you probably want to take a look at. So if you have created a portfolio with more than 2 investments in it, the automatic rebalancing tool, if you turn it on, will keep your percentages or ratios of investments steady. It'll rebalance your account on a quarterly, a semi-annual, or an annual basis. And basically what this does is whenever you have disproportionate growth on one of your funds, for example, you might have a 60-40 investment allocation, 60% in stock, 40% in bonds. That would be considered pretty moderate. It'll help keep that intact. So if ever you have your stocks are growing much quicker than your bonds, it'll capture those capital gains that you've had and reinvest them into the stable investment and keep your strategy at 60-40 as opposed to making it too aggressive, too much stock exposure. Essentially what we're doing here is we're buying low and selling high. This is something that happens within the target date funds internally, so you never have to worry about it. But it's important to make sure that you're keeping your ratios of investments pretty constant for what you intend them to be. And the automatic rebalancing tool helps you do this without you having to log in on a regular basis and do that and constantly be monitoring what the market is doing. So with that, if you ever do have any questions about any of this, hey, how much should I be contributing? I have this circumstance that I'm a little bit concerned about. I want to make sure that this investment really does make sense for me. I'm nervous about joining the plan. What do you think about X or Y? Again, we at WFG are a resource to you, and we are here to help you with anything you need. Again, my name is Elena Peerson, Financial Wellness Strategist. And if you ever have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me, any one of my colleagues, or you can reach us at info@washfinancial.com. And we will get back to you as soon as we can to set up a phone appointment and get to talking. Thanks, everybody, and have a good day.
That's going to do it for this week's show. Thanks for listening. If you have a question that you'd like us to address in a future episode, shoot us an email at info@washfinancial.com. If you enjoy our show, we'd love for you to subscribe on iTunes or wherever you access your podcasts. The opinions voiced in this program are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which investments may be appropriate for you, consult with your attorney, accountant, financial, or tax advisor prior to investing. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, and SIPC. Investment advice offered through Global Retirement Partners, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Global Retirement Partners, Washington Financial Group, a division of Hub International Mid-Atlantic, and Hub International are not affiliated with LPL Financial.